Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Daredevil from Daredevil Born Again. I initially wasn't going to pick up this figure, especially after picking up Frank, the Punisher, because the Punisher to me would have fit in with my G.I. Joes, my Valorverses and things like that. But after seeing some images from Facebook groups on people posing this guy and having a really good look at it, I kind of changed my mind. I thought, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and grab the figure. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I believe it was the Punisher video, Marvel Legends and me have a very love-hate relationship in the sense of a lot of the figures that I was getting, especially MCU ones, I'm mainly an MCU collector, I prefer them, I love the details of the costumes and things like that. A lot of mine were just breaking right out of the package, and the quality control for me, and that's not to say that these were across the board on all figures, but it was very consistent with mine, and I was buying mine throughout the various retailers, whether it be Hasbro Pulse directly, other independent toy retailers, and those are not to say that those are those retailers' fault, but the quality control for me was getting to the point where if I'm buying £25 plus figures and they're all breaking consistently, why am I wasting my money when I can put that money to a line that I know does have some faults but not nearly as many. But that's enough ranting and raving for that. Let's take a look at Daredevil right here. Now, right in the packaging, it looks great. Though I'm not a fan of the TV show this comes from, I'm going to be 100% honest, I thought it sucked. The moments that he was Daredevil, I thought were really good, but when he was just plain Matt Murdock, the show was just boring. I snoozed through like half of it, I'm not going to lie. But taking a quick look at the packaging here, obviously you got the various logos, whether it be Marvel Legends series, Daredevil Born Again, your ages, Hasbro, name of the figure. The artwork, I actually really like the artwork on this, it's really nice. Taking a look at a bigger image of the artwork as well as the bio, which we'll read in a second. I love this sort of artwork purely because of the sort of blood dripping down, though it was a semi-bloody show. It reminds me of the original Daredevil series opening where you see all the various sort of images and icons and then Daredevil himself being dripped down in blood, what I assume was blood, in that opening crawl, and the theme was just mwah, chef's kiss in that series. But taking a quick look at the bio here, it says, what kind of a lawyer is Matt Murdock? A really good one. Ace attorney by day, Matt Murdock pursues justice for those who cannot achieve it themselves. Okay, that's a little bit weird. You'd expect that on a Matt Murdock figure, not a Daredevil figure. So, to me, that's a little weird. I get that they're one and the same, but when you're describing the character that you're kind of pursuing, you just automatically assume that that bio would apply to a Matt Murdock in his lawyer outfit, his civilian clothes, not Daredevil in his Daredevil outfit. But hey, that's just a nitpick. Obviously, you got all your legalese, again on the bottom. Nice little shot on the side, Daredevil. So, I will see you in a second as we break this guy open and take a look at the actual figure. Okay, so got the figure out of the packaging, and right away, I think it's quite a solid figure, I'm not going to lie. I love the texture detailing that Marvel Legends has been getting quite good at lately. The details of the suit, really nice. My only nitpick, and I believe it was Robo that kind of pointed this out, is on his buckles where these two D's, I assume they're not meant to be D's, but they kind of look like D's, are meant to be silver. And then maybe just a couple of other belt buckles, I believe they're on the gauntlets, where they're supposed to be a bit silver, but that's just a nitpick. I can always pay someone to paint these up for me because I suck at painting, I'm not going to lie. I've got very shaky hands, so I will not be able to keep this guy still enough in order for me to apply the paint correctly. But again, that's just a nitpick that some people have picked out. I've got one other minor nitpick, and it's only minor, but I'll get into that when I get into the accessories. But looking right away, solid figure, I'm not going to lie. My only other slight detail is the eyes. Now, yes, they are kind of accurate. They're just very jarring to me, which is a bit strange. I feel like the eyes should be a bit darker. I get they want to make the eyes a bit more sort of distinct from the overall red, but it does kind of look like he's got a shocked Pikachu face going on right there for me. But again, it's just nitpicks with this figure. Overall, I think this is a really good figure, and one that I would absolutely recommend. If you are a MCU fan or a Daredevil fan in general, I would recommend picking this guy up. He certainly will add to your collection very nicely, and he'll fit in there very nicely. And if you are so inclined, you could paint this body over and make a decent custom figure for whoever you think this sort of body and texture would be very similar to. But zooming in on the face as best as I can. Again, I am looking into getting a better camera eventually, guys. It's just, I've only got so much of a budget to work with at the moment, so I'm kind of just having to use my phone just because it's convenient. So apologies for camera quality. It's going to be like this just for a little while longer. Right now my house is kind of taking priority on things as best as I can. So apologies again. But really nice face sculpt. Certainly nailed the sort of 5 o'clock shadow. You can definitely tell like there's a Charlie Cox head sculpt under there. It would have been nice if we would have gotten a alternative head, whether it be a bit of a bloody version after his fight with Bullseye in the beginning, when he sort of takes his helmet off and throws it. Or maybe another alternate head where, like, it would have been nice if it would have come with the two heads that I'm just thinking of now, where you have this sort of clean look, where you see him in sort of like the beginning, where he's running towards the fight. Then one where his horn got skewered up by one of Bullseye's blades or something like that. And then an alternative sort of head where you see him after, spoilers, after Foggy died and he takes off his helmet and then throws the helmet down and you see him all bloodied up a little bit. But that's here or there. But overall, articulation-wise, double ball joint at the neck that we've been seeing fairly consistently. Nice butterfly joint and shoulder joint. Double pinless elbows. And your standard wrist swivel and hinge. Ball joint at the waist and a swivel at the waist. Standard ball joints at the thighs, and there is a thigh cut so you can get in some dynamic poses. Double knee, really nice double knee there. Can indeed kick his own ass. And I don't believe there is a boot cut. No, I don't. There's no boot cut there that I can see. But forward facing pin for rocker on the foot hinge as well. So overall, you can get some really dynamic poses for this guy, which you should be able to, considering that Daredevil is known to be an acrobatic sort of character. But getting right into his accessories, he comes with an alternative pair of hands, a sort of throwing hand, as if he's throwing one of his batons or something like that, or he's using it to grip it, and another fisted hand. Would have been nice if it would have came with some more, but hey ho, like double fists, an alternative, just another alternative, maybe another fist. I think would have been really nice. And then here's batons. This is where another one of my nitpicks is going to come in really quick. I don't think it's shown within the show, but in the previous series, his batons have been shown to connect and form a singular sort of club or something like that. So it would have been nice if they would have made one of these a stick out peg and this one to join it, so that way you could recreate that look. I know that would have interfered with this accessory, this little wire for his tonfas here, but they could have easily have molded one end differently from the other to say like one end could hug the sort of tab that sticks out, whereas the other one is just like as they are now, they just simply plug in. But hey ho, what could have been. That's just my only other nitpick, but it's nice that they sort of included this sort of long wire. It's static in place, it's not a bendy wire sort of one. I would recommend looking into a customizer for a sort of bendy wire one, so you can dynamically pose it however you wish. But at least they included one just for the sake of display. He does hold his tonfas, or his tonfas. I keep calling them tonfas. I don't know why. But he does hold his batons really well in both hands. The other hands it comes with are just your standard C-grip hands. But should you wish, they do store nicely in his little holster up here on his thigh, which is also done in really nice detail, by the way. I love the fact that it has this little catcher at the end here, so that way you know they're not going to be falling out. But the only other comparison I can really give him to is his showmate, Punisher. And these two go really well together. I think, I'm not sure if it is accurate in height, whether John Bernthal is taller than Charlie Cox. I assume so. From what I can remember just off of memory, John is slightly taller than Charlie. So, really nice. They do square off nicely with one another. As if to say they're confronting each other, and then they can also watch each other's backs, kind of like what they did in the end of the show when, again, spoilers, Kingpin sends a bunch of squads of like corrupt police officers and things like that to kill Matt/Daredevil, but Frank intervenes. But overall, what do you guys think of these figures? Did you pick them up? Are you sort of on the fence with them? They are very popular characters and very popular figures, so they are selling out quite everywhere. So unless you're going to be willing to pay eBay prices, or Evil Bay as I like to call it, they are, in America, I know they show up across Targets and Walmarts and things like that, so you got a lot more options there. But in terms of like UK retailers and things like that, we've only really got Pulse and fan channel retailers. So options are a bit more limited. We don't have brick and mortar stores that kind of carry these much anymore. And they are all selling out online. I was very lucky to be able to get a Daredevil very last minute. Punisher I did pre-order right off the gate when he was first announced. So, but as always guys, I would appreciate it if you hit that like button, as well as leaving a nice comment down below of what you guys think of these figures. Who's your favourite Marvel Legend figure, whether it be from comics, MCU, Gamerverse line, whatever. And whilst you're down there, if you could hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell, it really helps the channel. And with that notification bell, it keeps you updated on any future videos that may be upcoming. As I said, I am uploading every day throughout the week. Things might slow down a little bit here and there, but whilst I've got a nice big back catalogue to go through, the uploads will remain consistent as possible. So I'm hoping to keep the schedule of every weekday and then the occasional weekend upload. But it's always weekdays, 12 PM UK Standard Time. But as always guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.